Okay, so you know those sweet couples who've been together like 20 years or more. They've got all the good stories and great lessons to share because, let's be honest, they've been through some things. They've grown as partners, maybe even as parents, evolving all the while in every season of life. Still, that love flame keeps popping and sparking. Shamari and Ronnie DeVoe have kept things popping for more than 2 decades now. Both are members of popular R&B groups, Blaque and New Edition, of course. And together, they've bonded over music and parenthood, real estate, philanthropy, and most importantly, their faith. The DeVoes have a lot of lessons to share, so let's celebrate Black love with Ronnie and Shamari today on Portia. Hello and welcome to the show. We're talking to a power couple who's navigated music, love, parenthood, and working together, and most importantly, staying together. Shamari and Ronnie DeVoe have been married 20 years, but listen, they've had eyes on each other a lot longer than that. They've both made their mark in music, but they're also champions of love and real estate and investing wisely and philanthropy. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for
us.
having
Yes, indeed. It is a pleasure to have you here. I love your love story and have followed it for years. And one of my favorite things is the fact that you remember down to the date when you all first laid eyes on each other. There's a little bit of debate on how it went down.
Yes, indeed. March 10th, 2001. Yes, indeed, was the day that we walked into each other's lives. And I grabbed my hand as I'm holding my wife's hand, as she was walking into the Janet Jackson Icon Awards after party.
Right.
Standing in front with Bobby, trying to figure out how we're gonna get in this place, right? She walks by with Natina. And she's holding Natina's hand, and I happen to just reach out and get a chance to grab that back hand.
And I keep walking by.
Oh my goodness!
Let the hand go. I said,
because you're like, who is? Did you see that it was?
I saw it was Ronnie DeVoe, and I
saw.
saw.
So she did see it was me. She did look back, and she smiled a little bit.
I saw you when I was going towards that way. I didn't see you when I looked back.
Yeah.
I kept walking, so I saw Ronnie DeVoe. I saw Bobby Brown, and I seen him, and he grabbed my hand. I just kept walking, and
so you weren't moved at all, like, hey.
Yeah, she looked back and she gave me a nice little smile. She doesn't remember that, but I do.
You know what? I'm going to let him have that because, you know, really, for real, that did not happen. You know, my memory is a lot better than his.
But you obviously both recognize, you recognize her from Blaque, you recognize him, but you were not moved. You were
Did you recognize me from Blaque?
Didn't you recognize her from Blaque?
I don't know.
I think I did.
The answer is yes.
He saw something he liked, and he liked that it was great eye candy. So he was trying to get all up, on this good.
And I had just heard about Blaque not too long before I met Shamari. My cousin Maurice in Los Angeles was like, "Yo, this new girl group is coming out. You know, they kind of similar to y'all to a certain extent. You know, TLC, BBD." And I happened to see them on Soul Train. And all I can remember was Natina. You know, she had this hat on and she was snapping that neck while she was doing a rhyme. And I'm like, who is this girl that's just acting wild? Reminded me of Bobby Brown to a certain extent in their group. And then fast forward, it had to be maybe a few weeks, maybe a couple months later, you know, Shamari walks into my life.
So at what point did you finally connect? Because obviously that night you kept it moving.
Yeah.
But what happened the next day?
So after the party was over, we beamed each other our two-way contact information.
Oh, that was back in the day. Yes, indeed.
2001.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. So I was walking the next day at the Beverly Center with one of my friends, and I was like, oh, I met Ronnie DeVoe last night. Let me just hit him up on the two-way. So I hit him up the next day, and we just had our first date the very next day. He wanted to take me out to lunch, and we
Connection was instant?
Immediately. From that day moving forward, it was like this. And, you know, initially, we were kind of playing house, you know, every step of the way. We were doing everything that people in relationships do, right? But
Yeah.
I felt like I wasn't ready for it at the same time, even though I wanted to be with her all the time. But, you know, for me, if I'm going to commit to somebody, I know that that's what I'm going to do. There are a lot of gentlemen and individuals out here that will tell somebody anything they want to hear until they can get in, and then, you know, they're moving along.
But Shamari, at some point, you got to a point where you were like, listen, this is cool, but you either
I gave him that ultimatum. I was in Germany performing with my group Blaque, and one day we had this conversation over the phone. I was like, yo, are we going to be together or what? Because if we not gonna be together, then I'm about to go. And then he said on the phone, he said, I mean, you know, we together, we together. So I guess that was our time that we finally committed. 3 years after that date of March 10, 2001, which is 2004.
2006, you get me?
We get married.
Yes. We got engaged in 2005,
That's
and he proposed to me on the beach in Maui. And like, I was like, dang, how come I'm not crying? Because you know what I was thinking the whole time?
What?
It's about damn time you proposed to me.
Yes.
So I was just happy, and we got married March 10, 2006, and I didn't feel nervous about it. A lot of people say, you wasn't nervous, you didn't feel like, I was like, no, I felt so calm because I knew this was my destiny partner, my husband.
When you know,
forever.
you know, right?
Yes, I knew it.
And she knew right off the bat. You know, I kind of felt like I wanted to be around Shamari, so, you know, subconsciously I knew, but then I'm just moving to Atlanta, you know, it's the Black Mecca, hold on, I want to explore my options, right? But ultimately, when she gave me that ultimatum, you know, I just looked in the rear view mirror and I saw our past 3 years, and the fact that on this roller coaster ride and entertainment, you know, I'm in the valley on my way back up trying to figure out, you know, what that was going to be. Who is Ronnie DeVoe? I started moving into the real estate space at that particular time after moving into Atlanta.
But listen,
and I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, right.
Well, I don't want you to miss the part where our viewers are actually seeing pictures from your vow renewal, and this was in Ghana. A lot happened in between that, and we're going to get to that. But the significance of renewing your vows. You all travel a lot, but renewing your vows in Ghana.
Man, it was like going to the motherland. Like, what better place than to renew your vows after 20 years than to go back home to the motherland? Because we were going to do it here in Atlanta, and we was like, no, let's travel. Let's go out there and let's, you know, feel the love of our ancestors, and you know, and just put on the traditional kente cloth and really do it. Like, you know,
the power of your children, your sons seeing that,
The fact that they were there, you know, to be able to walk with him down the aisle before me and see this, it's like, it was so incredible and amazing. So.
Yeah, a lot of incredible chapters in your marriage. There was a period of time where you guys were apart. And I don't want to say by choice, put it in your words. You guys were going through some things and just said, let's pause. When we come back, I want to I want to pick up the story from there. Because it takes a lot to get to here,
That's
right?
That's right.
Stay with us, more conversation with Mr. and Mrs. DeVoe right after the break. Welcome back to our intimate conversation with Shamari and Ronnie DeVoe, all cuddled up. They have not let each other go, even in the commercial break. It's a beautiful thing. And I love that this journey came with you guys recognizing that there needed to be a pause. There needed to be a break. And it was a long one in 2 separate cities.
Yes,
in separate states, right?
Yes, it was. Our relationship definitely met adversity. And because we didn't have the blueprint for success in our parents, you know, divorce, both sides, we didn't know how to navigate some of the things that we were facing as challenges. Shamari lost a couple of her mentors,
Lisa
you know,
Lopez,
best friends.
Natina Reed.
Natina Reed. So fighting death, and, you know, me feeling like I was supporting her, you know, in the way that I thought was manageable or right, you know, for what I believe, she would tell me, hey, we need to seek counseling. You know, there's some
How did you
things
feel
that
about
we're
that?
not addressing.
Yeah.
And at that particular time, as a black man, you know, it's always been this thing where we don't let everyone else know or air our dirty laundry. You know, I don't need someone telling me how to run my household, even when I don't know how to run my household.
So he was being stubborn with the counseling, but
How did you press through that?
I was like, look, because it got to the point where we were talking about getting a divorce. And so it got to be super serious. I'm like, Ron, we have to talk to somebody. We can't just keep putting a Band-Aid over it. You know, it's already bad. We got to get out and get some help. And he told me, he said, as long as I'll do it, as long as it's a couple that's been married at least, I think he said like 15 years at that time.
Yeah, but
and
this
they
was
have
after having counseling with probably 3 or 4 other individuals prior to that.
That didn't
you know,
work
fighting
out
through
for
our
you.
separation. Yeah, we separated, like you said.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Los Angeles, back and forth.
Oh yeah, it was because
so-
I was in a very broken place because
That's
of the
right.
loss of my best friend, and you know, and I needed to be closer to my husband, but instead we were separated, so that didn't help at all. I felt alone. I already lost my best friend and Lisa, and then now I felt alone because of that, and then I felt even more alone because me and my husband were separated.
But I understand that you ultimately did find a couple that met all the criteria.
That's right.
Yes, yes. So
And
that's,
that made a difference.
And that's what I was talking about earlier.
That's right.
He said, we can go to counseling. He finally got out of that whole mindset of not wanting to have a counselor. And he said, as long as they've been married for at least 15 years, it has to be a married couple so we can see the two different sides from the woman's perspective, from the woman's perspective and the man's perspective, and they have to be Christian. So those, and I found Martez and Wadrina Layton.
Yes.
Don't know how I found them. The only thing I could think about is God led me to them.
Wow.
Because they did not have a website. They didn't have anything up.
Right.
So I found them on a message board. Some guy was just talking about, just said the name Martez and put his number out there. And I called him, and they have
And the rest obviously was good history.
That's right.
Because you learned a lot, and God
They
became a real
spoke life
center.
and breathed life into our relationship with fundamental tools. You know, number one, we're going to take the blame game out of the equation. You know, that was the first thing they said to us. Like, pointing fingers is not an option, you know, in our conversations. And then all of these other tools began to be put on the table, from active listening, being able to repeat what the person said. Now you're not sitting there waiting for your reply, you know, kind of closed-minded. You have to listen to what the person is saying to be able to repeat it. And all of these other things that became fundamental tools, even us holding hands and walking with each other.
The love
languages, exactly.
Yes, because he's definitely all about the physical touch.
And you needed...
And I needed words of affirmation and quality time. And he needed physical touch and acts of services.
Wow, you two have really... Which makes sense, because now you're in a space where you are moving really efficiently in all of your other passions, right?
Yes.
Obviously, there's parenting these adorable twins. But for you, real estate, that's been a part. But Shamari, you are full throttle in this nursing space now.
Yes.
What made you explore that? I feel like there's a connection to some work Mom used to do.
Yes, it's always been a passion of mine. My mother, she's a physician assistant, graduated from Emory back when I was 8 years old. And she's an OBGYN, so I just saw her and her love for her patients and her going to work. I used to spend the night at Grady Hospital when she was on call. When it was time to take your child to work, I used to go to work with her, and I used to look at, you know, she would do the pap smears, and I would look under the microscopes at the different STIs and all type of stuff. Yeah, she's gynecology, and I was like, this is so cool. I'm like, wow, I want to be in the medical field too. So she really inspired me because of her compassion.
And you literally went back to school. Like, there's video of you, like, I'm going in from a first day in your scrubs.
I went back. I already have my bachelor's degree in sociology. So I went back into a master's program in nursing nursing, which is a direct entry program. So I'm getting my MSN. I graduate in August 2026. It's about a 2-year program, but I've been doing it for a long time. I just started posting about it, so people are just now seeing it, but I've been in it.
Congratulations for pursuing the other passions, and I know real estate is one of your biggest passions.
Definitely.
You've been doing this for a long time.
Yes, for a long time. I mean, it started in 1987 when I bought my mom and my brothers, our family, our first home in the hills of Los Angeles, California.
Wow.
Right? The money from New Edition.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to purchase a home. I'm looking at things like the Brady Bunch and the Beverly Hillbillies. And then this host parent that I have, I was in a program called the Metco program, and we had to have a host parent, white family, because we were being bused to the suburbs. And they had the white picket fence with the creek in the back and all the space. I said, one of these days, that's going to happen for me.
And it did. We'll pause right there because it did. And it did become a source of building generational wealth, too, right? Something you both are really big on pushing. More conversation with Shamari and Ronnie DeVoe right after the break.
Yes.
Back with one of my favorite couples in all of the land. Just a couple of minutes left. I want to go a little bit more into the real estate because that has been so critical for both of you in terms of wealth building, but also the work that you're trying to do in the community.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So real estate, 87, bought my first home, sold it 3 years later for $200,000 more. Bought it for $200,000, sold it for $400,000. Fast forward to
the original flipping move.
Exactly.
Love that.
Fast forward to a time where I needed something because there was no New Edition, there was no Belle Biv DeVoe. Moving to Atlanta, chasing my wife. You know, that wasn't my wife at the time. I look at some income property over in the West End. The real estate agent that showed me this property became my mentor. She said, you can have access to all of these properties by going to school and getting your real estate license, and you can make money this way. And the first-time home buyer, which I was at the time, all of my family, lifetime renters, no one that I knew owned a home. The first-time home buyer became my passion because I wanted to be able to allow people to walk the process as I did. You know, from 200 to 400. That equity in a home is life-changing for people. It funds a business, it funds college, it funds all of these different things. So real estate became a passion of mine in 2001 when I moved here. In 2002, I got my license. My wife was actually my first client. How about that?
How about that?
Yes. She said, I know how I'm going to get him.
I know how I'm this is it.
Yes.
But you've been building ever since. I understand now you are building abroad.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We are building international investors in Dubai and Ghana.
I love that we need to say it with the accent, too. You better tell us.
All around the world here,
Singapore.
Singapore, you name it. We're there.
Because you all love to travel, so you want some homes to go and have to stay in a hotel, but also to have as investments. Part of building a portfolio for your family.
Exactly.
The world is our home.
Exactly.
It is.
I've always felt that way.
And community service is a big part of your lives as well. We've got just about a minute left, but I don't want to run out of time to talk about why.
Yeah. It's big. The Boys and Girls Club specifically is huge. We actually rehearsed at the Boys and Girls Club, working on our craft as New Edition, and it was a safe haven. So for me to be able to spread some love and some cheer to individuals that were in the same predicament that I was, coming from the projects of Boston, Massachusetts, with sometimes no opportunity, no hope, the Boys and Girls Club was that kind of space, and we do workforce development on every Saturday on tour where we'll bring kids and teach them, yes, you can hold the mic, but you can also own the tour buses. You can be the caterer, you can be the sound man, you can be the drummer. Yes, and all the facets of making this New Edition Way tour happen. It's not just about holding the mic. So it's a great experience that we have on those Saturdays, and it's about pouring into these communities and cities and states that have been showing us love for decades.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, I could keep keep you all here for days, which just means you have to come back,
We
right?
will, yes.
But I want to thank you just for sharing the things that matter most to you, your love for each other, your faith, and empowering others to do all the same.
Thank you so much.
Can we just say
the Married for Life walk
is coming.
Yes.
In Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes, it is June 5th and 6th.
Okay.
People walk for all kinds of things, autism, cancer, of which we have walked a number of times for those things, but walking for family and togetherness and community is what the Married for Life Walk is all about. So go to Married for Life Walk, marry4lifewalk.com, and you can hear all the information about it.
We are out of time, but I want to have you back so we can talk about more and more and more love and life and your faith. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. I know. They gave me all the feels, too. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to be the reason why someone smiles.